everybody! Welcome back to Northernlion Plays a Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. We did okay. We did okay as Lazarus. Let's do an Apollyon run. We got a lot of stuff to knock out. You know, hush, delirium. Hush, little delirium, don't say a word. And daddy's gonna avoid you like a turd. EP7's EPQWN. But we're here. We're warmed up. If you can kill delirium on a warm-up run, you're living a dream life as far as I'm concerned. Who? No. There's a few items, and I always make the distinction between Zane and, like, self-destruction, okay? There's a few items that go above and beyond Zane and just become self-destructive. I would say, I know we've had some okay success with Data Miner on occasion in the past. I would say Data Miner fits that bill. Soy Milk sometimes, Strange Attractor almost always. Tiny Planet, increasingly. We gotta do us. We gotta have a responsibility for ourselves, okay? I love, though, that we are Apollyon. We've probably gotten about 7 range upgrades on every single one of our recent runs on average, so I'm hoping that this gives us an opportunity to turn them into something different. Potentially range upgrades of a higher magnitude. I'm only half joking, but last run, what can we say? You know, the game gave us the one item you need if you want to succeed, and that's the D4. We didn't have to worry about anything. We became Guppy despite never seeing a Guppy room, or a Guppy item, I should say. That's not true. We saw 9 lives, but everything else we just re-rolled into. You know what? Yeah. Damage, luck, speed, and fire rate increase. Sign me up. That was a good choice. Now, I can't remember. You could possibly take both of those. Some of the rooms you could take both, some of them you get a choice, and I never remember which, but it's because they show up pretty rarely, and my brain is bad. But, I think, even if we could have taken both, we're better off with, like, we got all of the stat upgrades that we actually care about, and the orbital, as far as it goes, is pretty bad. Mom's Razor, and, you know, Maggie's Bow I don't think we've had. But simultaneously, like, focusing a little bit less on ticking those sort of boxes and more on ensuring that we have an acceptable run of some quality so I don't go friggin' insane from some of the runs that we've had recently. And I'm feeling, again, better now. Last run was a great, like, overpowered setup. It felt like it had been a while since we'd had a run where we just crapped on the game, so I'm back. I'm feeling good. I will absolutely take the available opportunities here in order to go to the arcade, possibly get Blood Bag. Wouldn't re-roll that one. We also have a Demon Judgment, potentially, that we could play. So here's the game plan. That's extremely great. Step 2 is you come over here, and you give this guy enough money to give you an HP upgrade. Not an HP upgrade. And a boss item, so an item I think, prefer to turn into stats. And then we'll try you. We could have tried to shoot the moon and gone for the blood bank as well, but okay, absolutely take that. Now we come here, try to get you to pay out. Another blood bag would be ideal, but unlikely. Okay, fair enough. We got another rate of fire increase and another luck upgrade. This run is already a little out of control. Am I gonna go for it? Absolutely. Probably should think twice, but I want that next blood bag, man. Plus, our stats should be so good. Like, what I mean by that is, like, our damage and DPS are so high right now that we shouldn't be taking damage against enemies. Okay, so that isn't a library down there. It's our shop, just in the kind of a weird location. Full health? I can't take it. It might be bad trip. See if this guy gives me some HP first. We got a 100% chance of a deal with the devil right now. I would also love it if you dropped a key. I'd like to suck this up, but we can't. I'm drowsy. Okay. All I ask is for a not difficult boss, and I think mission accomplished. If you ran this in the simulation, 100 times out of 100, we would get the deal with the devil here. Mostly because if we compromised our ability to get the deal with the devil, we would be dead. So mathematically, that checks out. We'd like to suck that up. This is a bummer. If we had saved our, I don't want to say saved our suck, because it sounds really bad, but if we had, we could have sucked all those up. Oh well, is really what I have to say about that. We got decent value out of it regardless. Out of our last void charge. It was another tears plus luck upgrade, so I'm not going to be sad that we didn't get to suck those up, even though it obviously would have been better if we could have, because in particular, Satanic Bible is basically a win. And if we could have it basically as a passive, that's even better, of course. So just as far as I'm concerned, get away from the champions. Okay, when the champions are dead, you're set. The next step, as I see it, is, well, Joker card. And it could be a deal with the Angel. I would try to fight an Angel statue. Like, to get Mega Satan, if you get the opportunity to take Mega Satan, you take it. Health down. Not that bad, surprisingly. We got more than enough to roll. We will take Circle of Protection. And then, are our stats good enough to fight an Angel statue? Yes and no. Gonna be a bit of a slog, but we'll have a key piece. And then, of course, we're just hoping that we don't see a deal with the Angel on this floor anyway, like once we finish it. That way we have a better chance to get one on the next floor. World's your oyster, etc., etc. Oh, I knocked him out of the beam radius. And then I one-tapped him anyway, so maybe not the kind of thing you should be complaining about. Alright. Went fine. And I actually desperately need that, so consider myself pretty lucky here. Didn't use our suck item. And that's because I don't know if we've had Circle of Protection before. I don't particularly value the item, but, you know, it's got something. Do I know what that something is? Are you asking me if I know what Circle of Protection does? The guy who has 3,000 hours in the Binding of Isaac? You think I don't know what Circle of Protection does? Well, you're mostly right, okay? I know it turns some enemy shots into homing shots for us, but I don't know the specifics. Everything is going just fine right now. If you start complaining, well, I should say it this way. If you ever hear me complaining about the quality of a run like this on the 3rd floor, you know I've lost it. We'll definitely just take synth oil. Obviously nothing in there for us. Kind of unfortunate that we don't get the extra chance of a deal with the Angel on the next floor, but oh well. Hard to be sad that you beat the odds and got another deal. Mostly just annoyed that our keys are in such a weird spot. So, ideally, if we could get a key right there, that would be very nice. Dude, I have to. I'm sorry. You've seen the runs that we've had recently. I have an obligation to Ryan. Northernlion has an obligation to Ryan, not to make the run as easy as possible, but to make it as winnable as possible. You know, depending on the word you use, it changes the timbre a lot. I think everyone can agree on that. We're not gonna suck up Mom's knife. Now we can basically suck up any other item we want for the rest of the game and have a real good chance to win. But remember, we're going for Mega Satan and potentially also Delirium. And it'll be, I mean, if this is a run that has the opportunity to get everything, it's going to be like a game time decision. Like, what's harder to get? Delirium or Mega Satan? It's got to be Delirium because you need like a special run to be able to do it. You need a run that's strong. Whoa. really. I was kind of hoping maybe this, I guess, would be the secret room. We need another bomb to get in. Didn't get it. Got a lot of money, though. Consumables are just, like, gone. Still, great run. Couldn't go to the shop. Couldn't go to any other room that required a key. Didn't want to go to the cursed room because I want to protect our HP as it stands right now, but anyway. Life goes on. Dude, there was video game news today. It rocked the industry. Telltale, at least as of the time of this recording, it's reported that they're laying off like 90% of their staff. That is wild news for me. Considering, like, you know, 6 years ago, and it's a long time ago, admittedly, but considering 6 years ago, like, The Walking Dead Season 1 came out, and everyone, myself included, was like, this is a revolutionary game. I think it's been retconned a little bit, where people are like, oh, a zombie sort of adventure game. This passes for art in this industry, but at the time, the writing quality in The Walking Dead Season 1 was so good, and it was so different to the majority of stuff produced around that era, which, at the risk of being, at the risk of being negative, was a lot of, like, really generic cover-based shooters. And this also had a license that still had some clout at the time associated with it. It was a really, it was a landmark game, I think. Probably the consensus game of the year from 2012. Now, I've said a lot of things that are pretty critical of Telltale more recently than 2012, and I think there's a definite... We got Locust of War as our effect for that room. Good lord. Just such bad luck. There's a lot of things you could say about Telltale, one of them being, like, eventually you just get sick of fan service adventure games on the same engine that's existed since, like, the year 2003, but it is still, it's wild, you know, for a company that's had so many licenses, and seemed like, I mean, we had Stranger Things, Batman, Game of Thrones, etc., etc. We might as well suck up Placebo, you know, just to add an item to the pool here. We got another battery charge anyway. It's crazy that they effectively, I mean, going from 250 staff to 25 is like going out of business. And you know, there's always like blood bag, even better. There's always going to be like armchair critics, and I'm ashamed to say that most of them are on YouTube that are like, see, this is what happens when you don't revolutionize your business and innovate and go along with the trends of the... Okay, sure, but like, I mean, you're recording this video out of, you know, potentially like a 500 square foot apartment in Vancouver, if you know what I mean. It's different, you know? They were making hundreds of, or at least tens of millions of dollars off of the, that first season of The Walking Dead, and they're not wrong, but at the same time, what would you do? You know, you're a small studio. You come out with a game. It's perhaps a slightly unexpected, incredible hit, both critically and commercially. Wouldn't you scale up? Try to get better licenses? You're not really trying to replicate that success. You're just saying, hey, this is what people want. You know, they voted with their wallets on this one. I'm not saying, you know, oh, like, pour one out for the business that's gone under. I haven't purchased a Telltale game since The Walking Dead Season 2. I bought The Walking Dead Season 1, played it through, loved it. Bought The Wolf Among Us, played the first couple of episodes. Liked it, but I encountered a game-breaking bug that kind of like required me to revert a save file at one point, and you know, call me a millennial if you want, but I was like, that's a little bit too much trouble for the level to which I'm enjoying the game right now. But I understand that that is the, I don't want to say hipster choice, but that's like the thinking man's choice for favorite Telltale game. And then, since then, I did buy The Walking Dead Season 2, like, 5 years ago, and I finished the first episode, and then I went, you know, it's just not the same. You know, it's hard to recapture that magic, so I feel for them, but, you know, it's one of those things that's, I guess, shocking, but not surprising. I had always assumed that, like, I don't know, somebody out there was buying these games. Like the Minecraft one and the Batman ones were really well received critically, at least. That I was like, they wouldn't keep making them if people weren't buying them, but I don't know. Well, as always, you just kind of, hope that people involved land on their feet. And I don't know. That's probably marks the end of Telltale putting out a game once every 6 weeks at least. I don't mean that in a good way. What exploded? Exploded too fast. Alright. So we just need to take a smart approach here. We're going to take the negative. Remind yourself, confidence is a slow and insidious killer. We're gonna take the negative. Good pills. Pretty fly. I would rather just use that. And we'll hold I'm drowsy, because to use that with placebo against delirium and possibly the hush en route to delirium. Sensible approach. Anyway, I don't want to make this like a miniature roundtable necessarily, but that was news that shook me a little bit. Like, there was earlier news this week that Capcom Vancouver was shutting down. That's the kind of thing that's like, it's a story that's more appropriate or more interesting to people that are in the industry than people that are just consuming the industry, I think. Because, for me, it's interesting because I'm like, oh no, that was like one of the last like core game publishers that had a studio in Vancouver. There's still like EA Burnaby, but we lost United Front Games. Didn't Kabam go under recently? We still have Relic as well, the company that makes Company of Heroes 2 and like the Warhammer Dawn of War games, but I will admit, Vancouver it's a social mobile town now from game design perspective or game development perspectives, but Capcom Vancouver made 3 Dead Rising games. Telltale made some stuff that like many people in the industry have first-hand experience with. So it's a bigger story, I think. All right, let's go back. I will say though, it's always like whenever this stuff happens, there's always some hand-wringing. And I admit, or I agree, I should say, of course you hope that the people involved fall on or land on their feet. You don't hope that they fall on their face. That's the other thing. It would be substantially more mean-spirited. Empress. Let's suck up the game kit as well. It's not bad. If we can go to our shop here, we can maybe buy something that'll allow us to get the suckable charge. And hopefully get a deal with the angel as well. To make a Mega Satan happen, potentially. But we're going to focus on Delirium first, I think. Sure. And then I think we'll buy this. And then I think we'll buy this. And by buy this, I mean donate a bunch of money. We could also get tarot cards. But, like, I don't feel the need to say, like, I hope everybody lands on their feet. I guess it's a nice gesture, but I kind of hold it to be self-evident. Like, why wouldn't you hope that they land on their feet? Of course, I don't... Hey, Telltale, thanks for making this game. Now, frig off forever if you work there. That's obviously just stupid. But people are always... And not people, but, like, some people, to be more clear, are often like, I wish I'd known. I would have bought the season pass for Batman. I'm sorry. Like, it's just... I don't want to be callous, but, like, it is business at the end of the day. Wow, that's unfortunate. I deserve that for my callous nature, Grab this. Like, I didn't buy a lot of Telltale games recently. I don't think any of this is worth it. Would get a couple of stat increases, but here's the deal. We're already fighting Hush and then Delirium. So I think anything that milks HP out of us is a bad idea right now. I didn't buy... I haven't bought any Telltale games for like 5 years. And not because I get codes. That's one of the things that is a little frustrating sometimes. People are like, NL, you have a different take on the industry because you get all your games for free. I get... At this point, it's actually probably like 50-50. most of the stuff, like if I think about the stuff that we've played a lot recently, it's stuff that I bought. You know, I bought the golf club. I got codes for other people, but the first time I saw it, I said, oh, that looks like my cup of tea, so I bought it. It was like 70 bucks. I bought F1. You know, obviously I bought NHL. For the most part, I'm not in the publisher's pockets. Now, if a code comes in the inbox and it's for something I wanted to play anyway, of course, and we always mention that, but either way, you know, I purchased, like, at this point, probably the majority of the stuff that ends up being played. Moreover, often... Oh, where's my drowsy pill? We gotta go back for that. Extremely mission critical. Although... Okay, I'm glad I did that, because I looked at it and I went, I don't think we can even get a tiers upgrade here. I'm glad we opted out. But, for a lot of the stuff on the show, I purchased, you know, like 3 copies of it. So that we have enough for everybody to play. So it's a different story there. But either way, I haven't purchased a Telltale game since like 2014. Just because it just kind of got a little boring, right? You know, did you really want to put 10 hours into every single Telltale release that came out? Especially when I think I can pinpoint the moment like my Telltale interest turned to Telltale disinterest, and it was when the Game of Thrones game came out, and then everybody was just kind of like, eh, like a collective yawn, and I was like, oh, I could feel the magic fade at that moment. It's a tough call. I mean, we got a ton of luck. What happened there? Why did we lose that? We got a ton of luck, but we're not going to be going to the dark room, so it's kind of irrelevant. I thought about picking up the HP because it does give us, well, health. And the health could be used to, well, extend our life. I guess that's the new bit, is I go, well, the damage could be used to, well, remove health points from enemies. We just explained it in the most milquetoast way possible. But no, like, I think there's a more nuanced discussion to be had. Maybe the HP is more valuable than just getting the stat increase. Especially considering the enemies we're going to fight. But I'm also kind of hoping we'll have a wide assortment of, like, spirit hearts to choose from at some point. It's enough money to buy 2 keys from the Blue Womb. So this is paid for itself as far as I'm concerned. I'll tell you what, though. If we end up making this delirium run work, this is a really strong couple of runs to open my day with. We're saving those keys because the Blue Womb has more valuable key opportunities. Like 2 delirium wins would be awesome. That was really bad. Now, Apollyon has not beaten the Hush, so even just beating the Hush is something. I would probably rather do Dark Room than just beating the Hush, if it ends up getting us killed to go to Delirium, but we're knocking something out. Hey, that's the problem, like, you really don't want to do Hush unless you can also knock out Delirium for now, because you're gonna have to do Hush the next time you want to fight Delirium anyway. So the only thing I'm concerned about is our HP. 6 HP with no wafer or even a cancer item. Not really enough to be too excited about, but simultaneously, damage is really, really good. And we do have this I'm Drowsy pill ready to go. So in here, I mean, I dislike it, but quarter? I think we have to go Infestation, even though I don't expect the flies to be particularly good. There is no battery charge. When you buy the battery, I know it sounds backwards, but pretty sure you do not get a battery charge. Goat Head is kind of useless. This sucked. I'll call it like I see it. Because I know you're like, suck it up, but instead of sucking it up, I'd much rather use like an I'm Drowsy pill. But you know what we can do, is we can suck these up. It's a good stat increase, at least. Buy the key, buy the card, see what it is. Pretty much useless right now. Buy the battery, see if you get a charge. You're not doing anything else with it. Buy the pill, see if it's 48-hour energy. And then you can just pop an I'm drowsy pill. And then just make sure you take another one with you. It does lower our stats, which I didn't consider. Should make the fight a lot easier, though. So there's a certain degree of tactical gamesmanship going on here. And I do admit that the reason I said tactical gamesmanship is because in my head, my brain came up with the phrase tactical gamesmanship and said, you know what? You should say that. It'll make you sound smarter than you are. It's the great thing about having like a large vocabulary is that, well, it's a double-edged sword. When you use intelligent words, people expect you to be smart, and sometimes that's just not possible. But also, I don't know, because of my diction, sometimes people assume I'm pretentious. Now, I am pretentious, but it's not because of my diction, and that's an unfair presumption for people to make. I'm pretentious because of my taste, and my silent judgment of other people on a daily basis. Not because I say words like vernacular. Anyway, this hush fight is going very well, but I will be the stick in the mud and say, it does seem scary to me that it looks like we'll probably only have 6 HP for our boss fight. What is charging here? It's just the mom's knife charge, okay. I don't know, I thought maybe we had Maw of the Void and never noticed somehow. I like Circle of Protection, like very, very slowly creating homing shots. I don't know how effective they actually are, but it is, you know, it's opening up windows for me on occasion to actually dodge. Please, sir, I beg you. I'm trying to, like, figure out why it only gets some of the shots. Is it a dice roll, like, every time a shot collides with the circle? Please, sir, pop up. I beg you. You've been invincible for, like, 40 seconds. Oh, we almost had him. I could have gotten one extra attack, but I was like, he probably pops down soon enough. But he doesn't pop down soon enough. You have to remember, because if I am drowsy, like, all of his animations are longer. Great fight, though. We got Hushy. Not really what you want to unlock, to be honest, but now we'll head to the Delirium floor and really just hope for the best. I mean, Circle of Protection, it might get us that window we need on some of these more annoying void attacks. Then it really just comes down to, like, can we preserve enough HP to, you know, be ready for him? That's very, very good. So, really, you have to put yourself in the mindset, I think, at this point, that every single one of these rooms is the Delirium fight. You know what? That's actually a really good get for us. That trinket. Why do I'm just going to finish my previous train of thought, then I'll talk about that. Why was every room the Delirium fight? Because this is the HP we're bringing in with us. So you can't afford to slack off on these rooms in advance. So the reason that this is so good is because we're going to get the all stats upgrade. Well, obviously, we're going to use I'm Drowsy. And then we're going to get that advantage from the all stats upgrade right off the bat. Dude, we're going to win easily. Thank you, I'm Drowsy. Even more so than Dim Bulb. This is a true testament to the power of I'm Drowsy. And Mom's Knife, admittedly. But still. Dude, this run turned out completely fine. Now, the extra Spirit Hearts didn't hurt either. And we haven't won yet, you never know. Sometimes it takes a lot of HP at the forefront and then it gets screwed up later for whatever reason. But You know, I've well past the point of trying to figure out what the heck goes on in this fight. More just, yeah, shoot the big head until it dies. Great run. I had a lovely time. Let's get the heck out of town. That was a really good one. Void has appeared in the basement. So now we can get that as other players, or other characters, I should say. Excellent. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. It helps a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Plus, follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Northernlion. Be notified when I go live in the future. But for now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.